if you already saw 100 challenges, probably the 101st wouldn't scare you a lot because that's the same, but from the different perspective. We are contacting our clients each and every month, and then we are asking, what needs do you have? What problems are you facing in your day-to-day operations? And then we are building the roadmap in order to fulfill all of those things.
Welcome to the DesignRush Podcast. Today we're diving into the exciting world of web engineering and how it's shaping our future in this digital age. Introducing Martynas Paškauskas, the genius who teamed up with the brilliant team at NordSecurity. He's the brain behind strategies that kick industry norms to the curb. I'm your host, Vianca Mayer. So, Martynas, could you give us a brief introduction to who you are and what you do, and how you came to be the head of web engineering at NordLayer?
Yeah, that's very strange because I started my career as an analyst. I worked in one of the biggest companies in the world, Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
I was working as trade and sales analyst, working with numbers all day long. And then after working a few years into that area, I understood that I really would like to follow my passion, and I looked into the digital online and all of that stuff. The market was then just starting in Lithuania, so I took a step down from my position that I had because I was working for a regional then. So it means that I already had a pretty safe spot. But I took a step down, and then I started work in little agency. I started working still with data, with A/B testing, and then after a year and a half, I started working in one of the biggest telcos in Nordics and in Baltics, which is called Tele2. And then I started my career as a product owner. I started my career in developing self-care, e-shop, or corporate website, everything like that. Then we launched our web applications, mobile applications, and then I was headhunted by NordSecurity to run an applications team. And after almost a year, I was trusted with leading all of the engineering department.
That's amazing. Wow, you have a ton of experience under your belt. So, look, between Red Bull and Tele2 and NordLayer, as I said, you've amassed quite an impressive track record when it comes to your career. So, can you tell us a little bit more about how all of this has helped you to prepare for the role that you currently have at NordLayer?
Yeah, probably you cannot be prepared for everything that you're facing, especially these days, because everything is super unique each and every day. We're facing the challenges that wasn't here yesterday, so it's super hard to prepare for everything. But I'm like to say that if you already saw 100 challenges, probably the 101st wouldn't scare you a lot because that's the same, but from the different perspective. So that's the main thing when I'm how I'm looking at all of those challenges. So there is no preparation, to be honest. All the day you're facing each and every day you're facing new things, but you are get used to that.
Okay, and how do you personally sort of overcome challenges? Is there a set way that you prepare yourself or overcome things, or do you just kind of take it as it comes?
Usually I'm just taking as it comes. I'm not trying to overthink, and probably my secret is that I'm not trying to prepare, because if you are preparing for that, then you're usually overthinking, trying to imagine how it will go, what will be the challenge, and then bothering yourself with a lot of the thoughts. So then I'm dealing the challenge when I'm facing that, and then on the spot probably I'm coming with a best solution that I can come up.
So, okay, focusing on your role at Tele2, you were responsible for redesigning digital self-care and mobile apps.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about that process, and again, if there were any challenges that were presented to you during that time?
Yes, of course. So we did redesign not only from the front end perspective, but from the back end perspective as well. So it was like overhaul just overall system. So the main challenge was that it was a legacy system, and that system was used in 6 countries at that time, and it was exactly the same, just that the translation was different.
Mhm.
So while were doing that redesign, we need to think not only about Lithuania, the country that I'm based at, but all other countries as well. So that was the huge challenge, because each country had some different partners, some different implementations, different integrations. The law is different in other countries as well. So you need to be compliant with everything as well. So that was the biggest challenge, but I had a great team, definitely. So we managed to do that in a time span of 1 year.
That's really incredible, actually, that you managed to do that. But you also co-founded IMMEO Studio, right? So that
Yep.
company is dedicated to branding. What made you decide to invest in that industry specifically?
That's very funny story, because I founded that company with my wife and one of our friends,
Okay.
and the story behind that was that I was all the time into some kind of arts. I was doing photography for quite a long time, and right now working with the technology, it's super hard to unleash that side of myself. And then
Cool.
I decided that I really can help other companies, usually startups, to create the branding, to create from the brand book to the website. I will definitely know how to build the websites, and how websites should look like, but also I know what branding works. So that's why we co-founded that company, and right now we are working on it.
Has it been hard for you to balance your work at NordLayer with IMMEO Studio?
So for myself, the worst thing that can happen is that I'm laying and I'm having to do nothing. That's
Yeah.
the worst thing for myself. So the vacation when I'm laying just beside the pool and reading a book, it's a nightmare for myself. So yes, definitely I can manage that. It's my way on how I'm doing things. I'm full time working in Nord Security. Then after work, I'm sitting in the call with the clients. Then going to ride my bicycle and do other stuff. So
Mhm.
I really like to be busy.
My word, Martinez, where do you get your energy from? This is a serious
I don't know,
question.
probably from the first company, Red Bull.
Yeah. Okay. That's very cool. That's very, very cool. So, okay, so the digital landscape is, of course, always evolving and changing like super rapidly.
Yep.
How do you keep up with all of those changes and trends?
So right now, what I'm like, my way of doing that is, I'm trying to keep up with all the news. I really would like to listen podcasts. I really like to, watch YouTube videos, and then I have few websites that I would like to, read as, my new sources of digital related news. So,
Okay.
probably there's nothing unique in that way. Just I'm trying to consume as much information as I can.
As we all should. Are there any specific ones that you really like that you are like your go-to
Yeah,
letters and
yeah.
stuff?
So from the YouTube perspective, I really like MKBHD. That's the guy who does all the reviews of new gadgets, phones, and everything like that. He's definitely a star, so everybody should know him, or if you are hearing that for him for the first time, you definitely need to look for that channel. And then I really like to read The Verge. That's the portal with all the cyber news, online news, gadgets, and overall
That's cool.
all of the
Okay.
articles about news.
So, what do you think about any like of the current trends that is out there right now? So, like more specifically, how AI is affecting everything nowadays.
Yeah, so from the cybersecurity standpoint, AI is both threat
Mm,
and an helpful thing. It might be both. Probably the creators of the AI cannot decide what it should be used for right now, because the threats of the cybersecurity usually is towards social engineering,
mm,
and we saw that trend in the past few years already, especially when the hybrid working model started after the pandemic. So we right now we know that AI is definitely used for phishing attacks, for social engineering, and for everything like that. So we can look at AI as the very bad thing, but also AI can be used for dealing with those attacks, and then AI can be trained to spot whether it's phishing or not. So I think it's definitely a double-sided sword, and we're gonna see in a couple of next years whether it's good or not.
yeah, exactly. Is there something specific you think we should be keeping an eye out for with AI currently, especially when it comes to cybersecurity?
Yep, I think that everybody is already used to, the very standard phishing mails, phishing messages, and everything in a written form, and we can spot that very easily. We can, see whether it came from, trusted email or trusted person. But what's very hard to understand, especially right now when there is, tools who can mimic the voice, or who can even create the video of a person, and the quality of that is so good that you can definitely not gonna understand that this is just an AI talking to you. For example, even right now you can definitely not understand if that's myself and I'm live, or it's just this is pre-recorded video of myself, and it might be both. I'm not saying that I'm right now the AI, but it might be. So yeah,
Yeah.
so probably that's the biggest threat, because it's very hard to say whether it's real or not, because when it's in written form you can spot the mistakes, you can spot the punctuation and all the little details. But when it's video, when it's voice, usually people are not very good with the languages, especially if they are not native language. As
Yeah.
myself, I definitely do mistakes in English, and AI would do those mistakes as well. So
Of course.
then it's very easy to believe that this is a real thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Um, is there any software or things that or programs that are being worked on right now to try and prevent that type of like tricks from AI happening?
Yeah, I definitely know that there are some tools already in creation, and some tools in the testing already. But those tools right now, they definitely can spot the written, like if that article or if that message is written by AI,
Yeah.
because AI has some algorithms on how they create texts.
Yes.
And if you know those algorithms, other AI can spot that and mark that this paragraph or this sentence is not written by a human being, it's written by an AI.
Yes.
But what's regarding the voice, it like it's possible, but I think that the part of creation is way ahead on, or like if we are comparing to the part of spotting if it's created by AI. So we are a little bit behind of tools that can tell us whether it's AI or not.
So, among the several applications and features that you've worked on at NordLayer, was there one that was like particularly interesting to you?
It was like it's super simple for myself, and it's like golden standard across the market, but it's implementing biometrics into like mobile devices, and
Yeah.
implementing like whether it can be used or not. And but the main thing is that we are talking about cybersecurity,
Hmm.
and with the mobile devices, the Android phone can be jailbroken, rooted, and the iOS phone can be jailbroken. And we did the work that we detect whether the phone can be compromised, and then we are blocking the biometrics, and we're not allowing to use the application at all because the phone already might be compromised. So that was a very small thing that we did, but I think that all companies that are using biometrics, it can be implemented. In my opinion, it should be implemented because if the device is already compromised, then probably there is no use of that device at all.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. I think you're right. It should definitely be implemented. You can never have too much security for sure. So, as we know as well, NordLayer offers a multi-layered network of security features. So, can you tell us more about them and how they adapt to the unique requirements of businesses?
Yeah, so when we are talking about very simple VPN,
Mm-hmm.
so everybody knows NordVPN, which is one of our products as well, but that's like B2C, and customers like are using that, and they're using for their personal needs, and that's very simple. You just need to connect it to like certain country and use that network of that country. That's it. But when we are talking about businesses, it's a very complex thing that we are building right now because each business has very different needs. We can talk about business from 10 seats to business when we are talking about 10,000s of seats. And when we're talking about business of 10,000 of seats, then we need to manage those employees as well. And the IT managers of that company needs to do that as well. Needs to import huge amount of employees at once very easily. Then those groups of employees needs to be grouped into certain segments, and then certain rules needs to be applied per that segment. For example, when we're talking about the standard company, there is a accounting department, and then there is HR department. So definitely HR shouldn't see all the accounting information, and vice versa, why accountants needs to see all the possible candidates that go into the company. And those rules specify those which employees can see which information. And that's very important from the security standpoint of view, because if someone will compromise someone's device, for example, and then someone is HR person, he definitely, that person who already has the access to device, he cannot access the account data. And
Exactly.
that's very important. That looks like a super simple thing, and it looks like obvious thing that needs to be done, but you cannot imagine how many companies does not have implemented. And all the data breaches and everything shows that it's
Yeah.
not in that good shape as for now.
Exactly. Actually, just to add on to what you just said as well, like not all companies have that. Like we would be surprised. Do you find that this is something that a lot of companies or businesses do lack? Is their focus on cybersecurity these days?
Yep, and as I mentioned, before, especially when we are right now working in that hybrid environment,
Yeah.
when everybody is sitting in an office, it's super simple to control everybody. You can see whether the person is in his workplace or not,
Hmm.
whether the device is in the office or not. It's super easy because the device is connected to the trusted work network.
Hmm.
But right now, when we are used to be working from cafe shops, airports, all other places with not trusted networks, and you cannot even imagine who is looking behind your back at your computer, then it's super important to have that layer of security implemented. Because when someone knows your password, it's one thing. When someone can access your phone and can perform two-factor authentication, that's another story. And if you can do both things, and there is no that layer of security which is not controlled by your devices and yourself, but is controlled by the company, then there is a layer who cannot be breached by just having your devices. Then for example, there is a rule that you cannot access those top secret files in the company, and then you can give even your phone and computer to me, and I cannot access those because that rule is already being set by the company administrator, and that's it.
Hmm. Exactly. So, can you go a little bit more into detail how NordLayer is actually approaching companies that are fully remote or hybrid to help them with their cybersecurity?
So right now, what we're doing, we changed our communication, and we're saying that we right now are stress-free way of securing the company and its assets.
Hmm.
So I think that it's the best message that can be said to our customers, because usually, especially in the cybersecurity market, everybody is talking about super hard solutions with a lot of abbreviations and technical terms. But what's important for the company is, here is a solution. It will make all your connections safe, and at the end of the day, you will save a lot of money, because I just read that report about the average like data breach, and how can it cost for a company, and it's like 4.5 million USD in one data breach. So when we're saying that you can definitely save that amount of money and your reputation, and it won't be very difficult for you to do so, then we are trying to connect to our customers that way, and then our customers then understand that yes, this is very important for us, and it's very important especially nowadays.
Obviously, long term support is super crucial to keep companies safe. Can you expand on how NordLayer approaches that client support?
Yeah, so we have the first thing that's super important, that we have our in-house customer support, and we have that 24/7. It means that each client which can face any problems can contact us every time, and we are up for helping. That's one of the things that I think it's super important for our customers, because security cannot wait. That's
Mhm.
very simple. And the other thing is, we support our clients by listening to them as well. So we are contacting our clients each and every month, and then we are asking, what needs do you have? What problems are you facing in your day-to-day operations? And then we are building the roadmap in order to fulfill all of those things. So it's not only about supporting on what's already in production, it's also on supporting them into growing business, in scaling. And of course, what we are saying is it's super easy to scale with NordLayer as well. It means that maybe right now you have 10 seats in your company, and in a few months you will have 1,000 seats. So
Yes.
it's super easy to do that with the same application, with the same self-care portal. You can do everything within the tools that you're already using, and you will scale, and we will scale as much as your company will scale.
So, in saying that, are there any common roadblocks that companies encounter when dealing with digital security, and how do you overcome these? Could you provide a recent example of this?
So the one problem that companies are facing when they are thinking about cybersecurity is the mindset. First of all, because then companies are thinking that the threats, they are not going to affect them. And the persons are thinking that in a very similar manner. They are thinking that it will happen, but it will happen not to myself, or not to my company. It will happen to somebody else. But everybody is in danger in this era of online life, and when we are living that digital life.
Mhm.
So that's the first thing that we need to overcome, to change the mindset. And I think that not only us, but all of us, we're doing the very good job by trying to tell the stories to everybody in the society, that those things and those threats are really here. And the perfect example is us talking today. So it means that we're telling that AI is a good thing theoretically, but it can be used not for very good things as well, and you need to be aware of that.
Mhm.
So that's the thing that's super important, to change the mindset. And I'm super happy that a lot of companies are doing that. A lot of companies are doing studies to show the numbers, and to show how it can be dangerous.
Cool, that's very good. So I don't know if you know this, but DesignRush also hosts a complete directory of top cybersecurity companies around the world. What would you say are the top benefits of outsourcing a company to help keep your business safe from cyber attacks?
Yeah, I think the main benefit is that we are experts in that. And you are not doing, for example, plumbing work in your own flat if you are not a certified plumber. You are outsourcing that to the person who has expertise. So the same is here. Like we already working in this exact area for tens of years. We
Mm-hmm.
already know everything. We already know all the standards. We already know all the certifications. We already know what threats are. And for a company to build their own security tool, first of all they need to become experts in that, and that's a very long way to do that.
Mm. And I love your analogy that you just used. If you have a problem with your pipes in your house, you're not going to try and fix it yourself if you don't know what you're doing. You're going to hire a plumber, and that goes for basically any other specialized service. For those, looking to follow a career in the digital space or cybersecurity, what advice would you offer based on your nearly decade-long experience?
So my advice would be, not to be afraid sometimes to do a step down, or to just go a bit backwards in order to fulfill the dreams, because that's the way that I did. I already exchanged my very comfortable work in order to earn some knowledge, and once I did that, then there was new possibilities open for myself. So I think that there are a lot of people already in a very good positions. They are feeling very comfortable, but they are not, seeking their dreams. And in order to do that, sometimes you need to press pause, gain some knowledge, and then go like full speed forward.
As for trends in the digital security landscape, apart from AI, for sure, is there something that people and companies should be paying really close attention to that's particularly going to come up in the future from your own prediction?
So from my own prediction, but like that's my completely personal
Yeah, your
like
own personal.
prediction. So I think that yeah, I think that the viruses will not be a thing in the future, because right now we're seeing that hardware and devices, they have very good protection inside, and I'm talking about hardware. I'm talking
Yes.
about all the chips that are already encrypted, and then like all the stuff. So that's one of the thing. And what's regarding the prediction, what will be the next big thing from the threat side? I think AI will be, because right now we can think about AI in written form, AI mimicking your voice, AI trained to generate some kind of video,
Mm,
but we don't know what will be the next step for AI. And right now AI does only what we are prompting AI to do. But once it will start to generate some videos, or generate voices without our prompting, then it will be super hard to defend all of the threats that we will be facing.
yeah, 100%, exactly. No, that does make sense, and it is definitely worth reiterating. Um, and finally, Martinez, what about you? Like, have you got any specific goals that you want to achieve with NordLayer and with your studio?
So what's regarding NordLayer, my main goal is to have a happy team. I know that it might sound, very cheesy, but during those years, I already understood that, without a good team, it's impossible to achieve very good results. And we are achieving those results quarter by after quarter and year after year. So I think that, kudos to the team, and everybody working with a creation of this product. And what's regarding the like my personal baby IMMEO studio, so I think that our main goal there is to continue, showing very good attention to details to each and every client, as we already did in the past.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's really all I have for you today, Martynas, except I have to ask you, how do you pronounce your last name?
Paškauskas.
Paškauskas. Is that right? Paškauskas.
Almost.
Sort of. Almost, but okay. I'm going to work on that.
So you can already imagine that for an AI, it would be super hard to, mimic everybody that's living in Lithuania with those very hard surnames.
Exactly.
Thank you for having me, and have a good day.
Of course, it was lovely having you. Yes, you too. Have a good rest of your evening. Please go rest, okay? Okay.
Definitely.
Alrighty. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And that's a wrap for today's episode. If you're looking for a cybersecurity company for your project, we're here to help. Visit DesignRush.com/marketplace. Our marketplace offers a curated selection of agencies that can provide the solutions you need to turn your dream project into a reality. Again, I'm your host, Vianca Mayer. Stay curious and join us for the next episode.